If you guys want to save money, all platforms, you think FIFA points are a little too expensive, head on over to g2a.com and also your games. Everything on there is good to go. Dirty will get you an additional discount. We also got the Dirty merch. You see the hat, speed limit, EA servers. It's hurting my heart. But everything's down below in the links. If you're interested, let me know. I'll answer any questions.
What's happening, beautiful people? My name is Dirty Mike, and today I am going to be explaining instructions. We're going to cover a lot of different positions, types of players that are going to succeed with these instructions, and we're trying to build towards your play style and what I like to do and why. And so I hope you guys do enjoy the content. Drop a thumbs up, share it around the community, pass it on to your friends. A lot of people have questions about instructions, and this video I'm hoping is going to answer some of those questions. Also, comments down below, what are your best instructions over a few different formations? Let me know. I'm always interested, and I like to experiment and try different things. That's how you figure out what's best for you. You can count on that. Believe it. Let's get started. In order to get to the instructions menu, you're going to push triangle or Y. Player instructions is coming up on screen. And now you've got a ton of different options. And ignore the formation. We're just going to talk about a bunch of different positions and what works, what doesn't work, what types of players, and how you can combine instructions to get the best results. So with your striker, you guys that have watched me play live stream or on YouTube, I don't typically mess around with the strikers often, at least not a lot, but this is what happens. So with supporting runs, you have stay central and drift wide. I don't know why you would ever want to use drift wide for a striker. I need someone who's going to score goals. Now, if you combine stay central for supporting runs with target man, so something you might want to do with Ibrahimovic, or a player that you need him to check constantly for the ball, especially in a 4-3-3, it's definitely helpful. Then this could be a combo that would work for you. I've used the get in behind before as well with aggressive interceptions, which just means when you lose the ball, I feel like for your strikers, for your wingers, for even your center attacking mids, you have aggressive interceptions, they push forward a little bit easier. They push forward a little bit higher, and I kind of like to cause panic. But you can leave it for normal. You don't have to change anything with interceptions, but that's what it does in my opinion. And I don't know why you would want conservative interceptions with your strikers, your wingers, your really attacking players. I don't think you'd get the maximum out of them. Unless you're just somebody who loses possession and you just bring every single player back. You're looking for park the bus mode. But I like aggressive for my attacking players. As I was saying, a majority of the time with my strikers, I do not add a lot of player instructions, but this is what these do. Now when you're going to defensive pressure, you have cut passing lanes, press back line. So now if you combine press back line with get in behind, then you've got an interesting combination. You have a counter-attacking striker now, and that especially with aggressive interceptions as well. This is going to be a very dangerous striker, but you're not going to be able to find his feet. He's always going to be trying to push in behind on that center back. Could have some offside issues, but that's what happens. And if that's the type of player you're looking for, maybe you're playing a 4-3-1-2 and you are not getting enough through ball runs, boom, you've got an option here. You got Sturridge, Lacazette, Braithwaite, so many different players that are very pacey, and if you don't need them to help you with possession, you just want that straight counterattack, this could be an option for you. Next, let's talk wingers and outside midfielders as well as left forwards and right forwards. And for this position, I almost all the time will have it as stay forward. I don't need you to play defense if you're a left winger, or especially if you're a left forward if you're playing the 4-3-2-1. Now, as a left midfielder, I'll never have come back on defense. Never. But I have used left midfielders such as, I think Asamoah this year is a left midfielder. He's not going to be a player that you would want to lose out on his overall balance. Let him stay balanced. Let him sit as himself. Because he is powerful. He will make tackles. He's not an attacking winger, so to speak. He's going to do everything on the pitch. Now, with chance to creation, you have stay wide or cut inside. I don't like stay wide. It could open up spacing if you're having a lot of issues with outlet passing. If you are not being able to find wingers when you are under a lot of pressure, stay wide could work. But I think it hurts your attack unless you're someone who just whips in a ton of crosses. Now, cut inside, very valuable if you're playing the 4-3-2-1. Or if you have players like Gareth Bale, someone like Ronaldo, you are limiting yourself if they don't cut inside because they're so dangerous. Or a one-footed player. So, I know I've just put up number 2, but a one-footed player such as a Robin or a Vela, those guys, you want them to cut inside. They're not going to whip in crosses with validity. That's a fact. Now we're looking at balance support. You have come short and getting behind. I either leave this as balanced almost all circumstances, or I tell them to get in behind, which means that we're going to be in attack mode. I don't like come short and checking to the ball. But it could depend on your formation a little bit here. But most 4-3-3s, you're looking to hit good counters. You would love to get in behind. And if someone's pressing you into a box, you want to be able to hit a deep lob. Now, when you're looking at support on crosses, stay on the edge of the box if they're small wingers. Otherwise, you're wasting them. If they get inside the box, what does that do for you? Are they really going to win headers? No, they're not. Messi's not winning headers for you. Neymar's not going to win headers for you. So you can either leave it at balanced, or you could tell them to stay on the edge of the box. And I do this with a lot of center attacking mids as well. If they don't have size, there's no reason for them to get into the box. They're wasting time, and you're wasting time. Now, if you do have a winger such as Arnautovic, right, a big guy, put him into that box. Get him into the box because he is a viable option. He is somebody that can get his head onto something and challenge a goalkeeper, cause a little bit of some ruckus. Good things can happen. Now with interceptions, I usually will be at aggressive interceptions, as I said before. These are attacking players. You're not in the team to play defense for me, so I don't want you to sit back. I would hate for you to have conservative interceptions. I want to pressure. I want to bring the heat. I want to make things more difficult on my opposition. Center attacking mids, and this applies across all formations. Do not think I'm only talking about the 4-3-3. Remember, ignore the formation that I'm currently in. Just showing some instructions. With all my center attacking mids, whether you're in the 4-2-2-2, the 4-1-2-1-2, the 4-2-3-1, always stay forward. Because you're a center attacking mid, why do I want you to come back on defense? That's not what I signed you up for. I didn't put you in the squad for that. You could leave them as a normal defensive support if you'd like, but staying forward makes more sense to me. I want to have a counter attack. I want a center attacking midfielder that is trying to score goals, trying to facilitate, and in FIFA 16, this position is more important than ever. Now, with support on crosses, exact same theory that I busted out with the wingers. If you're small, stay on the edge of the box. If you're big, if you're tall, if you're physical, sure, please get into the box with a cross. If you don't know, leave it unbalanced. If you're unsure, if you think you have a player that's a tweener, he's 5'10", you're not really sure what to do with him, all right, then leave him at balance. But if he's either tiny or he's big, you know, one of the two, stick to position and free roam. Now, this is a very debatable position here, or freedom of the position. I've used both, and sometimes I love the free roam. Sometimes I really like where they stick in that central area, and it does depend on formation. So when you're playing a 4-2-3-1 and you already have other midfielders kind of around that cam, if they're free roaming, it's not a big deal. You're going to have other options in case they're a little bit out of position, and they can make some additional offensive runs. Find the space on the pitch. However, if you need them to be in the center, don't do this to yourself. If you're in a 4-3-1-2, a 4-1-2-1-2, and you are counting on that center attacking mid to be in the central portion of the pitch, I guess you can get away with it a little bit on the bunched 4-1-2-1-2, the second variation, I believe, where there's all those center mids. You could have them free roam a little bit, but otherwise, stick to position because you're going to need that person. You need that attack. And now with interceptions, I pretty much stay on aggressive. This is an attacking position. You can leave it at normal, but if you're conservative, it doesn't really benefit you unless you're just somebody that literally, as stated previously, you're just bringing everybody back. Everybody and their mama is going to play defense for you. When you're looking at your center mids, the first thing that comes up is attacking support. You could tell your players to get forward, but if you do this, then you have to play high pressure, a very attacking style, at least on balanced or attacking mentality if both your center mids are getting forward, because you're leaving a lot of holes, you're leaving a lot of gaps, and it does not matter which formation. Anything that has two central midfielders, if you're telling them both to get forward, even if they're good defenders, you need to be pressing of some sort. A lot of times I use balanced, and now if you have a player that is good defensively or you're playing them a little bit out of position, sometimes I play a CDM as a center mid. Sure, stay back. Cover my bases because I got other players that are going forward. And now support on crosses. Nothing changes for my theory on that. I want you on the edge of the box if you're small. I want you in the box if you're big. And if you're not sure, leave it at balanced. There's a lot of big players I play on balanced crossing runs just to see what they do, and I can make adjustments from there on. I typically, for center mids, are no longer playing on aggressive interceptions because I need them to actually be in the right places. I need them to actually chase back. And if you're out of position trying to make wild tackles, unless you are just one of those all-in players with your defense, like you just push everyone up, you're offside trapping, it's no reason. Normal interception is fine. Conservative if you like. Either one of those choices works well for the center mids. And now stick to position or free roam. I've never liked free roam for the center mids. I need these guys to play the attack and the defense, and I need them to make a lot of tackles. My central midfielders play a lot of defense for me that my center backs and my full backs get saved. It makes things easier, so I like stick to position for my center mids, and this, like I said, applies to all sorts of different formations. A lot of my tactics are very similar based on all the formations or the personnel. such as a big CDM or a big central midfielder. Knowing what kind of player you're including in your squad should definitely dictate your player instructions and your tactics. Defenders! And with the fullbacks, the default is fine. The only change that I make and I would recommend is if you're using someone like Jordi Alba or Dani Alves and you don't want them to push forward, you don't need that, then tell them, hey, stay back while attacking. Just chill. Normal interceptions or conservative is fine, but there's no reason to have aggressive in this situation unless you just want to take a risk. I don't see how it would benefit the way that I defend, at least. I don't want a bunch of penalty kicks. I don't want a bunch of mistakes. And when you start getting aggressive with your defenders, both of those things happen. And in this FIFA installment, penalty kicks, it's unbelievable. Now, with your center backs, I don't change the default. I don't think you would ever want your center back to play as a striker. And I don't want my center back to ever join the attack. It leaves a bunch of holes. It makes things too easy for your opponent. It doesn't make sense. And now normal interceptions, aggressive and conservative. This is once again a choice. Wherever you feel a little more comfortable. I would never be on aggressive. Normal or conservative makes a lot of sense. And players such as David Luiz, such as Sergio Ramos, those guys are going to be aggressive with their interceptions anyways. Just something to keep in mind to mentally jot down. Learning your play style is important for some of these tactical adjustments, but I don't really mess around with the center backs or the fullbacks. It's very rare. Every once in a while, for the fullbacks, I will add stay back while attacking just because I do not want to get eaten alive because of fullbacks making silly errors or getting too far up the pitch if I don't need you. And this depends on formation. I actually think if you're playing a 4-3-1-2, it's good to have them join the attack because you don't have any wingers to support you. But with a formation like the 4-2-3-1 with the two wings, or a 4-3-3, or a 4-1-2-1-2, the one that's wide, you could have them join the attack. But a lot of times you don't need to tell them. Most fullbacks get forward on their own. The majority of them have a high attacking work rate, and they are more than happy to get involved going forward. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a thumbs up. Make sure to get with me on Twitter at DirtyMikeUSA and Instagram at DirtyMikeVision. I know it's a longer video. You guys can let me know down below if you like the longer video. I just had a lot of information I wanted to cover, and I wanted to give you guys my logic and my reason.